Hello and welcome back everybody to Lucid9. So, last episode, our friend Yama got to know quite a few people who want him to become quite a few different things. The most interesting one being the dude who said eternal life is within our grasp. And I feel like he's going to be important for the story, but we shall see. But before we all get to know all that, let's listen to... Are you the headmaster or are you the mayor? I already forgot. I think you're the mayor. Anyway, let's listen what this important dude has to say. Sure enough, Masuru Inori, the ever-popular mayor, there we go, of Isamu, is in the flesh. He gives the students a cordial wave from behind an impenetrable line of security guards. Really? We start off with a, back in my day line. You don't even look that old. Back in my day, when dinosaurs roamed the earth... there we go. This extracts a laugh from the crowd. We always ditched career day. We'd pop over to GFC. You should have seen it before it was renovated. And stuff ourselves on wings. They were only double S's at the time. Shows you how far we've come as a society, eh? Are you one of the funny politicians, huh? You know what is a red flag for me? Like an instant red flag? A politician who just cracks jokes all the time? Because usually this means, hey, I don't really have a message, but let's come off clever and cool, It's like an instant red flag for me. The crowd chuckles again. Among them, I catch the distinct tint of Elizabeth's giggle. As usual, she's eagerly jotting notes on her phone, hanging on to the mayor's every word. The brunette girl who is always around Elizabeth is also next to her. Surprisingly, she seems equally engrossed in the speech. And yes, I hated career day. Thought it was a waste of time. Thought that they were restraining me at a time when all I wanted to do was explore myself. Who I was, who I wanted to be. But later I realized that I was thinking about career day in the completely wrong way. It wasn't about deciding my future. It was about exploring possibilities. He allows a moment of thoughtful silence before he continues. The truth is, you probably changed careers multiple times in your lives. In fact, the average number of job changes is estimated to be 15 times. In future or in reality? Because, at least in Germany, I think that is not true. I mean, it gets worse and worse by every year, People needing to change their job like every time, all the time. But I don't think the average is like 15 times. I doubt it. You could be in med school all your life, but have experience in construction, woodworking, design, architecture, statistics, engineering, maybe even ostrich babysitting or bicycle fishing. I already hate him. Can he be the murderer? I really sighed. Like, the teacher is not the murderer, the mayor is. God damn it. Elizabeth smiles into her hand as the students laugh like a perfectly timed track. But as vast as the future is, know what you don't want to do. You don't want to be hurt. You don't want to go each day full of insecurities, doubts, fears. You don't want to be lied to or backstabbed or treated like a fake. I won't lie to you, it's a nasty world out there. But I think that we can all agree that, regardless of who we are and where we're from, we each have an important part to play in the safety of this country. So go on, explore. You guys are bright. So you're basically telling me, I'm a shit mayor, I do nothing about the shit that is going on, it's a tough world, go out and do your own business. But hey, I crack jokes. I mean, they're up. This is not a game complaint. This is really not a game complaint. This is a politics complaint. I hate people like that. I really do. Like, I really, really do. And the problem is, like, so many people vote for people who are funny. What is going on with them in some people's minds, And hey, you guys are in a better spot than I was. I thought I'd like nothing more than to become an anthropologist. And, by the way, let me say this one thing. I have nothing against politicians who crack jokes from time to time, in an appropriate place. They're just humans, and why not make it entertaining while you're at it? The thing that annoys me is basically you have no message, or you have actually nothing to say or nothing good to say, and then you're making a comedy routine out of it, and everyone thinks it was great, even though there was nothing to it. That is something that annoys me. Not that even I knew what that meant at the time, it just sounded cool. Ah yeah, you're so fucking cool. His parting sentence elicits another laughter as he steps off the stage, offering a final wave. The students erupt into cheers in response. I quickly shuffle away from the crowd before the noise overwhelms me. I don't want to like this guy. Heck, I don't want to like any politician. But he seems to be less evil than the others I've seen. Totally on the wrong track, Yama. Let me tell you. I mean, I'm a few years older than you, to be fair. So maybe I've got more life experience, but usually these are the politicians who lie the most and are the most evil. I'm just saying. Furthermore, he made a good speech. He came across intelligent but genuine. Two major opposites of politics. Maybe I'll vote in his re-election. Maybe. Hello, stranger. Oh. Hey, Miki. Why are you wearing a kimono, if I may ask? I abruptly stop in my tracks, finally taking in what she's wearing. Well, you're dressed up. Which is putting it lightly. She's strapped in a silken kimono that ripples around her figure like water, her inset with a minimalistic ribbon and crystal pin. She could own the red carpet, or a throne even with that outfit. Pretty, my mind supplies unhelpfully. I quickly grind that part of my mind to dust. That's all you have to say? Oh shit, I don't really remember what kind of voice I gave her. I'll just roll with it. Well, what were you expecting? Poetry? Oh, dearest, you liken yourself to starlight, with eyes like the moon and a mouth like the purest golden flame the sun e'er did see. She promptly slaps me on the back. Very funny, Shakespeare too. I feel like here it would have been appropriate if there was like a Japanese poet. On the other hand, of course, he imitates like the old school English style because it's an English language visual novel. You know, so these are the moments I think about stuff too much, you know. But this is actually like when I would have written this visual novel, you know, this is something I would get stuck on like 30 minutes for no reason, because that is what I do. Should I now reference a Japanese poet or an English poet? That's stuff I get hung up on. Although I am impressed. The recitation was pretty decent. I feel like she's insulting me, but she genuinely seems shocked. Ah, okay. So, what brings you here? Do you want to become a model? What? Oh, no need to be embarrassed. Male models are hardly anything new. However, they do tend to be physically fit. Do you happen to have a six-pack? I'll pretend I heard none of that. What makes you think I would ever want to be a model? You're standing by my company's booth. We are a modeling company. Surprised, I cast a quick glance behind her. Sure enough, a larger banner reads Lotus Modeling above a tent with striking photo spreads. Hence the kimono, I assume? You assume correctly. So, where's Rui? I haven't seen her all day. That awkward moment when... really? That's funny. She attends the school, right? What? Of course she does. So you've seen her today? Yeah. You didn't tell her about me? Hello, social drama. I missed you. Not. How can I word this delicately? Or better yet, avoid it completely. You should probably be getting back to your job. I have my eye on you, Yama. Do you really think I can't tell when you're lying? I believe in my ability to run away. Always the same, I see. I've made a mental note to harass you about it later. Until then, Yama. She floats back to her booth, greeting any curious glances with an effortless smile. A model? Her job is modeling. Somehow I find that a little underwhelming. I almost expected her to be involved in something drastic, like the Secret Service, the film industry, or even the Olympics. But modeling, where you pose and change and smile for hours and hours. Adventurous, stubborn Miki? It doesn't seem to fit her. Maybe it's just a cover for her Secret Service actions. I don't know. Possible, yet unlikely. Whatever. Guess it's none of my business anyway. It's time to see Mr. Ryota. Oh yeah, I completely forgot our appointment. Huh. By the way, I just realized, he even has like a smart board on the wall. Like not the one in the back, the big black one, but the small one to the left. Oh no, that is his PC. Now I see the mouse and the keyboard. Okay, there we go. On the other hand, like, I'm not the biggest fan of iPads and all that stuff, but one on the wall, just, you know, like you're casually sitting there and then you're putting your left arm out and, like, I don't know, choose app XYZ. That would be kind of funny. This time he opens the door as soon as I knock. I must have caught him at a good time. Welcome, Ishimoto. We've been expecting you. He cackles maniacally and taps his fingertips together. You should have turned in your chair while stroking a cat. Ah, everyone is a critic. Would you have rather been left standing outside in the cold? Outside? It'd be in the hallway. You seem awfully eager to prove your mentor wrong, boy. Well, whether I prove it or not, it's still wrong, right? Yes. But that would never fly in a court of law, you see. Imagine it. I declare the defendant guilty, because from a metaphysical standpoint it is true, even if we have no epistemological link of knowing so. I just lost you. I get that a lot. Go ahead and take a seat. We've got more important things to discuss, no? Hesitantly, I slide into the nearest couch. I've always seen Mr. Ryota as an intelligent man, even if laid back, but I'd never actually, well, not understood him. I wonder how much brain mass he's hiding behind that cheery facade. You know, even though I decided the mayor is the evil guy now, you're still very suspicious, Mr. Ryota. So, the new transfer student, Misaki Kazehaya. I hope you don't mind. I did a little look up on her. If you know what I'm saying, wink wink. You can do that? Well, there is no explicit rule saying I can't use the confidential databases. I'm pretty sure there is. Nope. I may be faculty, but I'm not a teacher. It's only stated that teachers have to request special permission. Oh, my dearest friend. Now that bullshit will probably not stand on law. Like, if we go to court with that and, you know... I can't imagine, only because it says teachers and your staff. Maybe that... at least I feel that wouldn't go in a German court. But on the other hand, I'm no expert on law. I checked the loopholes. Something feels wrong about this. What did you find out? Well, if I tell you, then that is a solid breach of confidential... English. Let's try that again, shall we? Of confidentiality. There we go. I don't want to go to jail. Yet. Food is too good here. Mr. Ryota, I really worry about you sometimes. And this is me talking. So, instead I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter, Yama. How did you two meet? And you mentioned that she left. Yeah. I close my eyes, letting the ever-constant hum of the air conditioner calm my nerves. Then I start talking. It's practically subconscious. My mouth dutifully repeats the train of thought running through my mind. Everything is calm, clear, slow. Therapy. Something that I've gotten used to over the years. I feel like we're in a different scene now. Are we in a different scene now? Is this like the murderer or something? So I easily turn my brain to the topic of interest. Misaki Kazehaya. I'd met her when I was young. Not too young. A baby still forming thought patterns and ideas about the world, but young enough to be highly impressionable. It had been on a day when I thought noticing... God damn it, I read nonsense today. I thought nothing could make me smile. Not the vibrant lanterns strewn between the roofs of multicolored booths. Not the festive rhythm of the taiko drummers urging on the parade of light-bearing dancers. Not the stands in which a variety of nutritionally questionable foods were being served. Not even Rui. Rui, who dragged me out of the house despite my best efforts to stay miserable. It was only around an hour into the festival, but I was ready to go. When Rui went to the bathroom, I seriously considered ditching her and going back to my room. Apparently I was scolding, deeply at that. I didn't know it until a passing girl suddenly stopped in front of me. Does your face always look like that? To say the least, that didn't help my foul mood. I glared up at her. She was pretty. Well, that was the first thought in my head. That instinctive spark of appreciation whenever a guy sees a pretty girl, no matter how much he wants to feel otherwise. That is so sad but true. That is so sad but true. Ah, humans. We're so superficial. Well, I always see it like this. Like, you can't do anything about, like, the first moment you see someone think, wow, he's pretty, or wow, he's ugly, or wow, she's pretty, or wow, she's ugly. You can't do anything about that. The art in being a good person is that you immediately are over that thought and treat the person like every person. You know, you treat the person the same as every other person. That is the art of being a kind human. I mean, except you're a dick to every person, then I guess it's the art of being a bad human. Ha! Her hair was braided back into an elegant half-updo, light bony curls framing her porcelain face. Big eyes, long lashes, pointed chin, the kind of traditional beauty you might see in a kimono commercial. Of course, the first spark of interest was immediately overridden by indignance that only an 8-year-old boy could feel. What are you looking at? Don't look so grumpy. You should be celebrating. She didn't know anything, of course. Not until a few moments later. Months. God fucking damn it. Festivals are stupid. They're not. Why? There isn't even any reason to celebrate. Oh yeah, let me tell you. That is why I think some festivals are really stupid. Man, I'm talking a lot today. The girl's face twisted into something resembling anger. It looked strange on her face, like a guinea pig attempting to seem menacing. You didn't even know what the festival is about, do you? Well, of course I didn't, but I wasn't about to admit that. Of course I do. Oh yeah, what's it about? You make lanterns. Uh-huh, and? I fisted my hands at her condescending tone. Man, I don't know what it is today, but I really can't read. I'm not a good reader in general, but this is just bullshit. You write wishes on them and stuff. Wrong. I'm not. Yeah, you are. You don't write wishes. You write what you want to tell dead people. Ridiculous, I should have said. Why would I even want to talk to dead people? But I didn't mock it. I couldn't mock it. Dead people? Yep. I can write a message to Auntie on this lantern and she'd see it. How do you know that? Haven't you heard the story? No, I hadn't. But my 8-year-old pride prevented me from saying that, of course. Thankfully, the girl took my silence as confusion. Well, once upon a time, there was a princess. Was she pretty? I want to see the 8-year-old little boy who asks the 8-year-old little girl that question. Show him to me and I believe it. Yeah. Good at singing? Yeah. Boring. It's not boring. The indignant anger on her face made me snicker. The first time I'd smiled all day. Okay, now that I rather believe. A Yama who doesn't like... On the other hand, at least I, as a small kid, I always liked classical fairy tales. Even though they're, you know, kind of similar to each other in certain aspects. But I mean, I was a kid. Yeah? Well, what happens? Does she get in trouble and a charming prince has to save her? Just listen, she's actually a big meanie. A mean princess. That wasn't a fairy tale staple. Oh. Yep, but her bodyguard was in love with her and turned her good again. I felt disappointed. The story had a promising start. Blah. What did he do? Cast a spell? Give a true love's kiss? To be honest, I personally think that is not the way Japanese fairy tales work, though. He died. Yeah, that is how Japanese fairy tales work. Oh. Don't look so happy. That time I broke into a tiny laugh. But it made her good again, right? Well, yeah. She didn't trust anyone before. Thought they were all fake and stuff. It seemed that she was glaring at me at that point of the story, but before I could open my mouth, she was already continuing. Anyway, the bodyguard sacrificed himself to save her life, so the heavens were super duper impressed and put him in the stars. Aren't stars really, really hot? It sounds like a bad thing. Childish indignation flickered across her face. They made him into a constellation, you poop. Blah. Blah times infinity. Blah times infinity plus. Anyway, the princess realized how beautiful love really is. Because he died. She saw how much she loved her, so she decided to be a better person and trust people again. This had nothing to do with writing messages to the dead on lanterns. I was rapidly losing interest. Let me guess, she lived happily ever after. Well, no, the bodyguard died, remember? I like this bodyguard. She glared at me, but somehow it felt less severe than before. She wrote her promise on a lantern and sent it up to the sky so Key could see. Cause he was a constellation, remember? Now I realize that I could have said a lot of things. That is stupid. He's dead. What could he do about it? But that wasn't on my mind at the time. Everyone turns into a bunch of stars when they die? I think. You think or you know? If they did something to super duper impress the heavens, I guess. I smiled at that. My eyes scored the street? Now, never heard that before. And landed on a simple booth. A handful of other kids were gathered around a short portable table, scrawling on lanterns with calligraphy pens clamped in fisted hands. Let's go. But I already made a lantern. I'd do another dead person then. With this overwhelming display of tact and political correctness, I raced towards the table, snatched a lantern from a smiling adult, and plopped down with my pen at the ready. Who are you writing to? None of your beeswax? I began to scrawl a character on my lantern. The girl hovered over my shoulder, squinting judiciously at my jagged brush strokes. Why is your handwriting so messy? It's not messy. Ha! I can't even read it. I whipped around, narrowing my eyes accusingly at her own lantern. Well, yours... I searched for a fault, but not only was the lantern graced with perfect calligraphy, it also proudly bore a few elegant cherry blossoms. Well, yours looks girly. She raised a single eyebrow. It was a remarkably sophisticated expression for a 9-year-old girl to make. I am a girl. And there was nothing much to say to that. Yama, where have you been? Oh, it is Rui. Makes sense. It was as if Rui had materialized out of thin air. I hadn't even noticed the rapid pitter-patter of her footsteps. Sorry, Rui. Jeez, could have told me. You were in the bathroom. Ha! Clearly displeased, Rui turned her back on me, but smiled at the other girl. Thanks for taking care of him. Surprisingly, the girl smiled back, easy as you please. Well, weren't they getting along just fine? Why did they have to give me such a hard time? Maybe it was a girl thing. I'm Rui. I'm Misaki. You gonna make a lantern? Yep. How did you make those flowers? They're real pretty. I can show you. And just like that, the two of them were friends. Yeah. That goes sometimes really amazingly fast with kids. It took a little longer to warm me up, but whatever the two of them set their minds to, they accomplished. They had always been that way. So fiery, so capable, so lovely. Two playful angels who, for some reason unfathomable to mankind, saw fit to hang around a bucket of depressing sludge like me. Why do you think that about yourself? Mr. Ryota's voice seems to come from far in the distance, faint but recognizable. I respond distractedly. You know me. I'm not useful, or popular, or particularly intelligent. Silence follows this statement, so I only continue. Oh man, I don't know how long we're in. I fucking hate that I sometimes forget my goddamn clock. But I feel like we're in about like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, so we should be good. And I don't know how much longer this is going to go on, and I'm a bit on a tight schedule right now. This is also the reason why the uploading was not as frequent as I wished it was in this week. Anyway, let's end it here and let's see next time how the relationship between Misaki, Rui and Yama developed further. So, thank you everybody for watching. Come back for the next episode. And I'll see you then. Bye bye.